You've tuned in to Just Vlog with Melody, and there's talk around that Donald Trump has signed an executive order to deport U.S. citizens. Is this fact or fiction? And what does this mean for the Black person living in America? Let's get into this conversation. Now, we all have bared witness to the fact that Donald Trump is going to the ends of the earth to disrupt the whole system of America. He says he's doing it to make America great again. But is he really? At this point, I feel like as African Americans living in America, we have to start thinking outside of America. So there has been talk around that Donald Trump has signed an executive order to deport U.S. citizens. Not specifically Black people, but we will be the first to go if this were to happen. Now, fortunately enough, this is just mere rumor. It's not anything that has been set in stone. It has been a little conversation that surfaced on the topic, but nothing actually signed to allow him to do this as far as what I have seen. Maybe I have different evidence. And if so, drop a comment down below and let me know. Now, whether it's fact or fiction, that's besides the point. Now, I say this all the time, and I will continue to say that America is a sinking ship. And it's only a matter of time before the dollar collapses and America becomes a third world country. And if that were to happen, do you have any other alternatives? Have you been establishing your finances outside of America? Have you been looking at other countries to potentially relocate to? And I know that this has been a trending thing lately of people leaving America, going to other countries like Thailand, China, Africa, and other places around the world. And they have been reporting that they are finding so much peace in these places. Not only Black people, but I feel like Americans in general are so fed up with the atrocities that are happening in America. And especially with Donald Trump being in office, it doesn't make things any easier. And people are looking for an out. They are tired of working tirelessly, a 9 to 5, night and day, sometimes doubles, triples, quadruples, all to pay bills and have no freedom for themselves. We spend so much time in America constantly working that we don't even have the opportunity to enjoy the money in which we've worked for. As Black people, we have been through so much in America. The fact that you are expected to work in America until you, say like 67 years old. I think they just even recently increased the retirement age. So you're expected to work basically until you can't work no more. What quality of life does that leave you with? How are you able to enjoy your life? So you mean to tell me that you're going to be about 75, 80 years old before you actually have the opportunity to live? I think a lot of people want out of this situation. America has been dead set on creating slaves. And I think the slaves is waking up and they're like, listen, no more. We are tired of slaving in your factories. We are tired of slaving in your workplaces. We are tired of working endlessly, having no freedom and quality of life, and expected to continue to trade our time for money. And that's a whole nother topic because I just feel like we go to the ends of the earth to work for paper. When you think about it, all America does is print a bunch of paper and we put all of our hard work, livelihood, and effort to obtaining that paper. This paper is only valid because we put value in it. But if we all woke up one day and decided we are no longer slaving for this paper, what would happen? If we all woke up one day and decided, you know what, collectively, we're no longer paying rent. Collectively, we're no longer paying an electric bill. Collectively, we're no longer paying a water bill. Collectively, we're no longer paying to have someone watch our children while we go to a job that we don't even like. Collectively, if we stood together and denounced the very things that are keeping us hostage and keeping us enslaved, what would they do? Because we are the masses, whether Black, white, Indian, Puerto Rican, or Chinese. If everyone band together in America and decided that they were no longer going to be enslaved to these materialistic things, what would America be? What would America do? The power has always been in our hands. And all it takes is for us to stand up and take a stance against the wrongs that America has been imposing upon us, especially within the Black communities. But nobody questions it. Nobody stands up. And we all just continue to go about life work day in, day out, slaving, and nobody questions it. I will say that America has done an amazing job building a slave. They knew what they was doing. And to this day, they still continue to practice what they have preached for generations. And it's a beautiful thing that people are starting to wake up from this slumber and sleep. They're starting to say, you know what? I don't even want the American dream. I don't want no parts of even being in America. We are out. And I think that the more and more people that start to have this mindset and leave America to find a better quality of life elsewhere is going to be the ones that is going to find fulfillment for the first time in their lives. Making a decision to just uproot and leave the country, I understand it's a very difficult one, especially when you've been there for generations. It's all you know. And considering the majority of us have never left the country. I mean, heck, a lot of us ain't even leave the state in which we live in. So that speaks of how limited we have been within ourselves. And it is time to take those limits off and start thinking outside of the box, outside of America. Where can you go to live a life of freedom? Because I think that that is the new dream, not the American dream, but that is the new dream that people are aiming for. People are wanting quality of lives. People are wanting to be able to spend time with their families, raise their children, and go out and enjoy life. We understand that, yes, you have to work because if you don't work, you don't eat. That saying is very true. But at the same time, we should be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We should not have to wake up and go to sleep with work on our mind and not have any quality of life because what is that? It's like, what are you even living for at this point? So you mean to tell me that you're completely okay with waking up, going to work an endless day, sometimes 18-hour days, to pay for a house that you never see because you're always at work, and to pay for a car that you never get to drive because the majority of time is spent with that car being parked in someone's car lot somewhere while you're slaving your life away to pay for this car that you never get a chance to drive. Like, how asinine is that? We have to wake up and realize how we have been caught up in this mental slavery and not even realized it. Life is beautiful outside of America. And I never realized that until I took the initiative to travel to Ghana for the first time. And when I came here, I was like, this is amazing. People work, yes, and people work very hard here in Ghana, yes. But guess what? At the end of the workday, they still have time for enjoyment. At the end of the workday, they still have time to sit down and breathe. It's not like they have to work a double in order to provide or work wee hours of the night in order to provide. They're able to work, maintain a sufficient schedule that's still going to accommodate their lives, and at the same time, still have a quality of life. Visiting Ghana for the first time, I was also able to see Black people everywhere doing amazing things, working in high places. I was able to see Black people just like me all over the face of billboards. And here in Africa, Black people are the majority. We are not the minority. It's amazing to just look around and see Black people everywhere. I can't even explain how fulfilling and enriching that feeling was when I came to Ghana for the first time. And it was like, I want everybody to have that experience. I want everybody to have that joy. I want every Black child to grow up and see Black faces all over and use that as a source of motivation in life. Instead of being in European countries and them setting the standards of beauty, of what work looks like, of what school looks like, and of what life looks like. It's time that we Black people start taking back our own power and start telling our own story and start living according to our own purpose. And that will never happen if someone doesn't first take the initiative. I will say that in my family, I am the first one to travel outside of America and come to Ghana. I think I'm probably even the first one in my family that ever came to Africa. So already I am breaking generational curses that I don't even think a lot of my family members understand. I mean, I didn't even understand it when I came to Ghana for the first time. I just know that it was a calling. I felt so strongly tied to Ghana. I felt so connected when I came to Ghana for the first time. And I was like, there is something happening on the inside of me that is even bigger than what I can see in this moment. And it still continues to be even bigger than me because now I have opened so many doors for my family to be able to travel outside of America. Even if they don't decide to come right away, they have that option, which a lot of us don't even have an option to go to another country because we live a life of fear, because that's another thing that America works very hard to do, and that's to keep us operating in a spirit of fear so that we never step out of line, that we always make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. It's always the yes massa syndrome in America. So I am just so grateful that I have been able to break that cycle within my family, to show my family that you can leave a country and be safe and be even more fulfilled than you would be if you were to be in America. And most importantly, I have been able to show my children something different. Being here in Ghana, now they see that, wow, this is amazing. Their days are filled with being surrounded by Black people everywhere. And subconsciously, that is the standard that they are now setting in their minds. It's like they're being reprogrammed to think a different way and not think the European way. Now, there can be a lot of trials and tribulations when planning to relocate outside of America. And that is why I have been working behind the scenes so diligently to put together this ebook. It will be a guide on how to navigate Ghana, whether you're choosing to relocate here or whether you're choosing to just come here and visit. And I constantly get questions on, Melody, where can I look to live? Or Melody, what about work? Or Melody, what about business investments? And it's always questions upon questions upon questions. And it's very difficult for me to answer all of the questions at once. So I figured, you know what? Let me take this compilation of everything that I've learned, the many questions that I've received, and jam pack it into one ebook, one guide, so that you can always have it for reference. If you have any question, all you have to do is reference your ebook. If you need some suggestions, all you have to do is open up your ebook. If you need any resources, all you have to do is open up your ebook. And you can do it with a peace of mind, knowing that with every turn of the page, you're not getting scammed. And scamming can also sometimes be a huge issue here in Ghana. So you really do have to be so careful. It will be so much more easier to navigate life here in Ghana or a vacation here in Ghana when you have some knowledge about Ghana, its system, and how things work. It is time that we start taking back our own power. It is time that we start taking back our own life. That's it for today's video. Drop a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. Until next time, I'll see y'all soon.